Dive into the depths of the unknown, where secrets as old as time itself dwell, and where the enigmatic creatures known as mermaids reside. For thousands of years, humans have spun tales of these aquatic beings, half human, half fish, that straddle the line between our world and a realm beyond our grasp. From the icy fjords of Scandinavia to the sun-drenched islands of the Pacific, from ancient Greece to the African coasts, a common thread weaves its way through the tapestry of human folklore. That thread is the mermaid. Mermaids, in their various guises, have permeated every culture, every epoch. They are as diverse as the societies that birthed them. In some stories, they are enchantresses, luring sailors to their doom with their ethereal beauty and hypnotic songs. In others, they are benevolent, saving mariners from the merciless sea or bestowing gifts of wisdom and prophecy. In the Far East, they were believed to shed their tails and walk among us, blending into our societies. The ancient Greeks spoke of them as divine beings, daughters of the sea god, while the Vikings told tales of the Meroes, sea maidens with the power to summon storms. The indigenous peoples of the Americas too have their own versions of these captivating creatures, painted with the vibrant colors of their rich cultural heritage. And yet, despite their ubiquity, the origins of these tales remain shrouded in mystery. Were they simply the product of sailors' overactive imaginations, spurred by the isolation and danger of the open sea? Or were they born from mankind's innate desire to personify the natural world, to give a face to the unfathomable depths? These captivating beings have been a part of our collective consciousness for centuries, their tales echoing through time. But where did these stories originate? As we delve deeper into the enigma of the deep, perhaps we will uncover the truth behind the legends, the reality behind the myths. Perhaps the mermaids are more than mere figments of our imagination. Perhaps they are as real as the sea itself. Our journey begins in the ancient world, where the first tales of mermaids emerged. From the cradle of civilization, the fertile lands of ancient Mesopotamia, to the mythical realms of Greek lore, mermaids, enchanting half-human, half-fish beings, have captured the imagination of mankind. Travel with me now, back to the dawn of civilization. We're in ancient Mesopotamia, where the very first mermaid myth was born. The tale of Atargatis, the Syrian goddess, is a tragic one. Legend tells us that in a desperate act of remorse for accidentally killing her mortal lover, Atargatis transformed herself into a mermaid. She hoped to become a fish, but only her lower half changed, leaving her with a constant reminder of her human heart and the love it had lost. Let's voyage next to ancient Greece, home of the sirens. Now, sirens were not always the fish-tailed maidens we picture today. In fact, they began as bird women, creatures of the air rather than the sea. Yet over time their depictions morphed. The bird feathers were replaced by fish scales, and thus the familiar image of a mermaid was born. These sirens were not the benign figures of modern fairy tales. They were dangerous beings who lured unsuspecting sailors to their doom with their hypnotic songs. Yet despite their malevolent nature, there was a beguiling charm about them, a melancholic beauty that continues to captivate us to this day. So, from the ancient Syrian goddess Atargatis to the treacherous Greek sirens, the mermaid myth has been a part of our collective consciousness for millennia. These stories, these ancient beginnings, laid the foundation for the myriad of mermaid myths and legends that would follow. As we sail further into history, the mermaid myth evolves, taking on different forms and interpretations. From benevolent sea maidens to malevolent sirens, the enigma of the mermaid continues to fascinate us, forever swimming in the deep waters of our imagination. The Middle Ages brought a pivotal shift in the mermaid narrative. From being revered as goddesses in ancient times, mermaids evolved into seductive enchantresses during these darker ages. This shift can be largely attributed to medieval folklore. The mermaid, once a symbol of fertility and the divine feminine, now became a siren, luring unsuspecting sailors to their doom with her enchanting voice and striking beauty. Let's dive a bit deeper, shall we? Notable figures from this era reported sightings of these mythical creatures. Christopher Columbus, the intrepid explorer who discovered the New World, claimed to have seen mermaids on his voyage. He described them as not half as beautiful as they are painted. A far cry from the ethereal beings of yore, wouldn't you agree? Moving on from Columbus, we have Captain John Smith of Pocahontas fame. Smith reported an encounter with a mermaid off the coast of Newfoundland. He was so taken by her that he began to experience the first effects of love. Quite the romantic, our Captain Smith. Now let's transition into the modern era. Mermaids have once again transformed, this time into beloved icons of popular culture. They are no longer feared, but rather admired and loved. The Little Mermaid, a tale penned by Hans Christian Andersen and later adapted by Disney, presents a friendly, relatable mermaid who dreams of life on land. This portrayal, along with others in films, television and literature, has shaped our current perception of mermaids. They are now seen as symbols of freedom, rebellion and unrequited love. Mermaids have also found their way into the art world. From John William Waterhouse's painting A Mermaid to the famous Copenhagen mermaid statue, these mythical creatures continue to inspire and captivate us. As we have traversed through the ages, we witness the mermaid metamorphose from a divine entity to a symbol of temptation, and finally into a beloved icon. What a fascinating journey it has been, and who knows what the future holds for the mermaid narrative. But what if these stories aren't mere myths? What if mermaids exist, hiding in the unfathomable depths of our oceans? Now it's time to dive into the deep end of the pool. The conspiracy theories surrounding mermaids, theories that suggest these mythical creatures may be more than just folklore and fairy tales. Let's start with the aquatic ape hypothesis. This theory, proposed by marine biologist Alistair Hardy, suggests that humans had an aquatic stage in their evolutionary past. Hardy theorized that our semi-aquatic ancestors might have evolved into mermaids, living hidden in the oceans. Although this hypothesis has been largely dismissed by mainstream scientists, it has found a home among mermaid believers. Then there's the controversial Mermaids, the Body Found documentary. Released in 2012, this pseudo-documentary presented what it claimed to be evidence of mermaids' existence. From a supposed mermaid body found in the belly of a shark to sonar recordings of mysterious underwater sounds, the documentary stirred a wave of excitement among conspiracy theorists. However, it's worth noting that the film was a work of science fiction, as stated by the network that aired it. There are also numerous reported sightings of mermaids, from sailors of old to modern-day beachgoers. Some claim to have seen humanoid figures with fish-like tails, while others report strange melodic songs coming from the sea. Skeptics argue these could be misinterpretations of known marine life, like seals or manatees. Then there are those who believe in secret government cover-ups, claiming that evidence of mermaids is being suppressed. A far-fetched idea? Perhaps, but for believers it's a possibility they're willing to entertain. Whether reality or fantasy, mermaids continue to captivate us, their enigma persisting through the ebb and flow of time. After all, the sea is vast and deep, filled with mysteries yet to be unveiled. Who's to say what might be lurking in its unexplored depths?